Okay, I need help factoring number 11. And your group can have a point. Just because you're a lonely group doesn't mean you can't still get you some points. I'm not just going to move you to a 5 because I pity you. You got to actually do math in math class to get you 5. Number 12 is my favorite. Why? Because it's not square root. It's the cubes. Okay, 3 and 4 get a point. It's got to be something that's going to involve cubes, so that means I got to use SOAP. So same sign, opposite sign, always positive. If you can help me fill it all the way in, I'll give you 2 points. Yes, dear? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we were supposed to know, yes, Brady, you can have 2 points. 2x to the third. 2 to the third is 8. X to the third is x to the third. We were also supposed to know 5 cubed is 125. So 2x and 5 go in those 2 slots. This squared, so 2 squared is 4, x squared is x squared. 5 squared, that gives us 25, and then 2x times 5x gives us that 10 in the middle. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Number 13, something about a computer manufacturer determines that the profit for producing X computers per day is when they give us a function and they ask what is the meaning of the zeros in this situation. So let's graph this function first. And then once you have it graphed, someone tell me why you're mad, and I'll give you 2 points if you can explain why you're mad. So once you've graphed this, if you can tell me why you're mad at the graph, I'll give you 2 points. Why am I mad at the graph? Yes, and you can have 2 points. It was a 4. We thought we were going to have a W or an M. Why am I seeing a snake? Snakes go with 3s. So first of all, darn you real world example for not matching my expectations for what I think a graph is supposed to look like. Darn you. We actually are going to talk about what that means in reality in just a second. Let me ask Landon, like I've done it the same way 2 times in a row. I guess I could swap it up the 3rd time. That wouldn't kill me. So Landon is mad at this graph. He thinks this side should be pointing up. I'm saying it doesn't even matter at all because we're not even going to use this side. Why do we not even need this side of the graph? Okay, and literally in math class we use the full graph, but in real world, read through the problem. We don't need this negative side of the graph. It doesn't apply, and why? You would think production moving forward, but so Brady is going to start scamming people. Yes, I want to get 2 points. Brady's going to start scamming people. He's selling little girl hair bows. He sells 10, and then guess what? He never ships them. So you can make a negative production line. You can lie about products you don't actually have. You can also make negative profit. That's why their graph is going below, is they've made some negative profits. That's understandable. You're a new business. If Jerica's going to open her boutique, she's going to put some money into getting the clothes before she starts selling the clothes. It's just what happens. But the reason Andrew gets 2 points is because if you read the problem again, the x-axis is computers per day. So like the first dash would be how many computers we did day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. There are no negative days. There's no negative time, so there should be no negative on the x. So while we see it as graph there, we understand I really don't even consider that part of the graph because there are no negative days. There's not negative time yet. We haven't invented a time machine, sadly enough. But Landon asked a great question. I was going to ask it anyway. But we still haven't even answered the question it wanted us to answer. It says, what is the meaning of the zeros in this situation? Okay, so if I'm below the graph, I'm not making money. If I'm above the x-axis, I'm making money. What does it mean when I'm exactly on the x-axis? What do those zeros mean? Do you know how many times I've asked this question all day? Do you know I was like, there's a business term for this. It starts with a B. And nobody in any classroom is doing what kind of break even all day. I've heard neutral. I've heard no profit. And any of those answers are perfect. But Andrew actually knows a business term, which is called break even. Yes. So a break even point is literally where, like I'm saying, if this is Derica's boutique she's open, yes, she's going to go into debt for a while because, she bought all these clothes. And then at some point, she's back at a zero balance. That's that break-even point. And then after that, when she starts selling the clothes, she actually starts making money. So break-even point is where the money you put in, you finally got back to zero. You're not in the negative anymore. Which, Derica hopes to make a lot of money, but she's at least got to break even so she's not crying at home at night because she owes the IRS like thousands of dollars she doesn't have. Okay, but yeah, it's called a break-even point. So, Andrew, you can have 3 points for that. I seriously have asked that question all day and no one's told me anything. So, thank you. I would say, let's call it, if we did have a test tomorrow, I would say, good day, people. Let's call it on that. But no, sadly, we have a test. Look at your study guide for me. It's the very last page of your packet. That's what you're going to work on today when I stop rambling, which is going to be very shortly. I've got one last final new thing to teach you, and then I'm done rambling. Tomorrow's test has 10 questions. So looking at our study guide, 2 of the 10 questions involve synthetic substitution. And if you've not been here lately, or you've been here, but you've really not been here lately, synthetic substitution literally means I do synthetic division with the 5. So I'll put the 5 in the house, put my leading coefficients, bring stuff down, and whatever I get at the end is the answer. The remainder is the answer. So instead of me actually having to plug in a 5, everywhere I saw an X, I used to plug in a 5. I don't have to do that anymore. If I use synthetic division, what my remainder is actually my answer. And there are 2 like that on the test. There are 2 like 5 through 8 on the test. And really, I call those cheat ones because they're cheating because they already tell you one of the zeros. Now, I would probably use the opposite signs of positive 1 and then do synthetic division with a 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. But you know what? You might not even have to work that hard. In fact, you might not have to show any work whatsoever on some problems. And there is at least one like that on the test. If there's one where you automatically know all the answers without actually having to do any math, what are you supposed to put on your paper? Use my calculator. 5 gets the point. And number 5 is one of them. You can find out all 3 answers, because again, degree 3 should be 3 answers. You can figure out all 3 answers without actually showing any math. You can figure them all out using your calculator. As long as Allison puts, use my calculator, and then lists off the answers, I'm going to give her points. Saying all that, though, there's always a caveat or a catch. There's always a catch in life. If there are 10 problems, and they're 10 points each, if Allison has a blind moment, and clearly 1 is one of them, but what if she puts the wrong sign and puts use my calculator? It's kind of hard for me to get partial for that. So she needs to make sure when she lists the 3 and says use my calculator, those are going to be correct. If I count off and she has no work, it's hard to get partial credit for stuff like that. There are 3 where you have to find all the zeros. But I'm telling you, you might luck into one of them at least is use my calculator. The others might require synthetic division and then some grouping and what we've been practicing for what feels like an eternity now. But some of them use my calculator. Okay, so 2 synthetic substitutions, 2 where you're given a factor, 3 where you got to find all of the zeros, and then the final 2, 3, no, the final, well, that would put us up to 8. So there are 2 like at the bottom. I want you to take the square root off of number 13. Forget the square root, it's got to go away. We talked about that yesterday. If you weren't here, it's literally this easy. It's going to be the opposite sign. So x minus 6, x plus 3, x minus 2. We're given the zeros. We need to find the polynomial. Yes, that is the polynomial in zero form. You would get 7 out of 10 points for this if DJ actually takes the time to FOIL it out and distribute it all and end up with a final answer of x to the third and all the other jazz. That's how he get his full 10 out of 10. He already took a test and passed that. The first chapter 5 test involved this kind of thing, so I know he can do that math. What words you need me to use today, or what to do if there's a complex one. So there's at least one complex one, obviously. But again, after I show you the complex one, as long as DJ has the list, even if he gets too lazy on me and doesn't actually FOIL the things all the way out, he's going to get 7 out of 10 points. Okay, so if you're counting 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we're up to 9 questions. I'm telling you the 10th question is not it's not a real world one, but it is. You're given a graph, and then you have to say something about that graph. Like I'm given a parabola, so I have to say I know it's degree 2 and this is why. So it literally is just, do you actually know what you're doing graphing-wise? And then you should be mad at me because, as you recall, there is a back page to the study guide, and 3 of the problems on the back page, well, we got rid of 2 of them. 3 of the problems on the back page involve perfect cubes. And you're like, Miss Compton, you said there was a perfect cubes on this test. There is. It's inside one of the graphing ones. So hopefully it's the graphing one where you can figure them all out without having to use the cubes, but maybe not. So there is a cube one, but it's inside another problem, if you were worried. Okay, so you would love for Miss Compton to stop rambling, so let's do the 2 problems we need to do. If you'll go to the page before this, it's 23. Where are you, third pocket? Why is this my life now? Why do I spend my days wondering where my stuff goes? 1, 2, where's the third? Oh, where did the third one go? And why would it leave me now? There's the third one. Why is it over there? Yes, dear. Yes, Eric. You called me. Okay, in my mind you said you called me. I don't know. Okay. We did 1 and 2 yesterday. Again, even though DJ wasn't here, DJ understood this line. DJ can do math to get to this final line. 7 out of 10 to here. 10 out of 10 if you get to the final. So 1 and 2 are easy. We're not doing 4 or 6. We are going to do number 3 and number 5. And then I'm going to show DJ my trick because I don't actually work them all the way out, but it is what it is. So first of all, yes, if I have a minus 1, that means x plus 1 is a factor. So I have x plus 1 for this, another x plus 1 for that, and then I have an x minus 2i for that. However, if you've been paying attention to us and every single time we've dealt with I with these solutions, we always get 2 imaginary answers. It's always plus or minus 2i, plus or minus 5i, plus or minus 7i. It's like girls going to the bathroom. There's always 2 of them. So yes, we got positive 2i. We automatically get negative 2i for free. So we automatically get this for free. So on the next one, we got negative 3i. We're going to get positive 3i for free. They always go together in pairs. They don't have to list both because we're supposed to be that smart to understand if we get one, we automatically get the other. Now from here, I get life can be a pain. I get that. So I'm going to show you the long way, and then I'm going to tell you my trick so I don't have to do this. Okay, so if you get here against DJ at this moment, if he has that line, he's got 7 out of 10 points. He's literally just trying to get the perfect score. If he foils this, he'll get x squared plus 2x plus 1. X squared plus 1x plus 1x plus 1, so x squared plus 2x plus 1. Perfect. If he foils the other guy, he'll get x squared plus 2ix minus 2ix. Yes, they did cancel out. Yay. And then last, minus, bless you, 4i squared. Bless you. But there was a trick we were supposed to remember about I squared. What's the deal with I squared? I squared's -1. And you can have a point, Randy. You fixed it and everything. So really, I don't have x squared minus 4i squared. I actually have x squared, and then -4 times -1 is +4. And now I get to have some fun distributing because I've got to give the x squared to everybody. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times 2x is going to be 2x to the 3rd. X squared times 1 is just x squared. And now that I've shared the x squared with everybody, I've got to go back through and share the 4. So 4 times x squared, I get 4x squared. 4 times 2x, I get 8x. 4 times 1, I get 4. And I'm almost thinking done. I only have one step left of are there any like terms I can combine, and there are. So my final answer is x to the 4th plus 2x to the 3rd plus 5x squared plus 8x plus 4. Yay. So we were given zeros, and we worked backwards to find what is that polynomial that led to those zeros. Now what sucks about this, because I admit that sucks, because you could mess up this foiling, you could mess up this foiling. You might forget I squared is -1. You might forget how to distribute. You might forget how to combine like terms. You could definitely make a lot of different mistakes within here. But again, Daylin wants her 10 out of 10 on this test, on each problem. She likes the 7 out of 10, but she wants the straight up 10 out of 10. So when she reaches this answer, she ought to graph it on her calculator and make sure that this matches those zeros. So if I graph this, x to the 4th plus 2x to the 3rd plus 5x squared plus 8x plus 4, and I press graph, I look at my graph, and am I happy or sad? I'm extremely happy because, well, 2 of my answers were -1. So are we surprised we see a multiplicity of 2 with that hump at -1? No, that's exactly what we wanted. And then the plus 2i and the minus 2i, we weren't supposed to see those imaginary things on our graph anyway. So the fact that it doesn't cross the x-axis anymore, I'm happy. I know my polynomial actually matches my zeros, so I've done a good job. Okay, if you understood all that and you liked all that, you can solve number 5 the same way. You can do x plus 3, because that's the opposite sign of 3. X minus 1, opposite sign, x plus 3i, x minus 3i, and you can again do this entire foiling process, and at the end of the day you have an x to the 4th, something. Andrew's at a 7 out of 10 for just having this. But I do at least want to tell you my trick before I let you go work on your study guide, because I don't even bother to do this line or this line. I'm smart enough to go straight to here, and so are you. Let me tell you how. I don't actually have to list those guys, the imaginary ones at all, because I already know who gave me that imaginary answer. We've been doing this all week long, right? And so every single time I paid attention to the fact that if I have all these things and they're set equal to 0, if it's an x squared plus 4, when we set x squared plus 4 equal to 0, that's when we end up getting x squared equals -4, and that's when I end up getting a plus or minus 2i. So again, I've done this so much this week and in my life, and so have you, that I'm starting to understand if it's a perfect square and there's a plus sign next to an x squared, that's when we end up getting a plus or minus 2i. So for instance, on this next one down, I know it's going to be x squared plus 9 because 3 squared is 9. And lo and behold, I'm right. So if you understand how Miss Compton jumps from here to here, great, you can save yourself some work. If you don't understand what on God's green earth is going on this right-hand side of the page, then ignore it and do exactly what we just did. I just saved myself some time because I've noticed a pattern. So for instance, if I had a plus or minus 4i, I know it would be x squared plus 16. If I had plus or minus 5i, I know it would be x squared plus 25. I just got to know which square it is. It's x squared plus 36 plus or minus 6i. I got this. But if you don't got this, ain't nobody mad at you for working it out long ways. Okay, and then unless you have a question, Lord Jesus, Miss Compton's done rambling. Okay, your study guide's due tomorrow, your test is tomorrow, all the things. You got